Episode 355. Today we're talking about some standouts in yesterday's matchup between Detroit and Chicago. It wasn't that great of a game for Chicago, but I thought they had a handful of guys who were noticeable and had a lot of power play opportunities. They were trying to take advantage there, and they weren't able to capitalize and only ended up getting one goal out of it. But I think when you look at the game as a whole, they were creating a lot of volume offensively, creating a lot of chances. They're missing the net, and there were chances that were going wide, and there were other chances that just they weren't able to maintain possession. I don't know if it was a luck thing or just more the matter of puck management and trying to make simple plays and sometimes overcomplicating things, passing when you should be shooting and shooting when you should be instead passing. But I think there's just certain situations where they were trying to create more volume later on in the game, and even in trying to do that, they weren't necessarily pulling through, and which is interesting given that they have a lot of star power on their power play. Their power play unit looked really good together, I thought, especially with a confidence boost from Frank Nazar with his new contract. Connor Bedard's going to be Connor Bedard, but I think Sam Renzel was a real difference maker on that power play unit. Just having someone who's active, who's mobile, who can walk the line offensively, can shoot from the point, can use his slap shot, wind up a little bit. Sam Renzel seems to be that guy who's going to be a legit PP1 guy, and I would imagine we're going to see it right from the start of the season. He just looks like that type of player who's going to fit that role very effectively, and I think he'll fit that role even better than, say, Alex Vlasic. And the question becomes, if you're giving Renzel first power play unit opportunity, who are you giving the second unit to? Is that Alex Vlasic? Is that Artie Levshunov? Are you putting three defensemen in total on the power play or four maybe? I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that right now, but it's just interesting to follow that situation because Sam Renzel is just he's played lights out on the power play and he's been a seamless transition and fit on that power play unit. So you might as well keep him there given that he was creating a lot of chances, creating a lot of volume as well. Some other guys who I thought were noticeable in Chicago, and you got guys like Andre Burakovsky, who again was noticeable controlling the walls, controlling possession there on the perimeter of the ice. He was effective, and got that guys like Nick Foligno and Ilya Mikheyev were effective defensively. Colton Dach was physical on the forecheck. He ended up getting a really nice goal in kind of a mid-transition style play inside the offensive zone, more of a reload, and he was able to score off that. And then some other guys were noticeable. Ethan Del Mastro, I thought was noticeable as a puck mover, being able to move the play up ice and be a simple style of defenseman, and he was doing a good job of that. And Frank Nazar, I thought, was creating a lot of chances, a lot of volume was going his way. He looked very effective there and looked very engaged in all facets of the game too, which is really good to see. I really liked his ability to play an all-around game throughout this game and the entirety of it. He was forechecking, he was tracking back, he was engaged on the rush, he was engaged in transition, he was entering the middle of the ice, he was getting inside the offensive zone, very active coming off the wall to try and get inside on the power play. A lot of things seemed to go right for him, except the puck wasn't going in the net, and he didn't get a ton of scoring opportunities off his shots, but he at least tried. And some other guys were noticeable too. Ryan Donato looked good. I thought most of their lineup was actually pretty noticeable. It's just more a matter of the guys weren't able to convert on their chances, and that was about it. As for Detroit, obviously Dylan Larkin, JT Compher, Lucas Raymond, those guys were all really intriguing. Axel Sandin Pellikka is an interesting case study for me because I watch him more and more every single game, and I wonder, based on his play, if he has a chance to make the team. And it's looking more and more likely that he has a chance to do it. I don't know how likely it is, but it's looking more and more likely that he does end up making the team, being able to be not necessarily a full-time player, but at least close to. And I thought he was very active. He was very engaged throughout the game. He looked really good as a puck mover. looked really good in transition. He was just very steady all around and has more of a physical side to him. I don't know if that was something that he that had to develop playing in the SHL to be more of a man-on-man defenseman defensively, but certainly looks a little bit more assertive in terms of his hand contact play and how he's able to initiate physicality. I think that's a little bit of a game changer when it comes to him. So he can, because he's not the biggest defenseman, he's not the biggest in stature either. So the hands contact definitely becomes a little bit more important when you're trying to stay square to guys and shut them down. And I thought he did a good job of that. Michael Bransick-Nygaard, that was noticeable. Two-way player who can play in transition, has some pace coming up the wing, drives play, can get interior offensively and inside the offensive zone. So there's some effective qualities that he had, and I thought he was doing a good job of being able to create and create a lot of possession and being able to drive play and just being able to be engaged offensively. He was doing a good job of that. Cam Talbot was really effective in that too. Only letting one goal. He had 27 saves and 964 save percentage. Just looked really great offensively. And just being able to, what I mean by that is more so how aggressive he was in the crease. I didn't mean offensively, I meant more assertively. I used the wrong word there. And he was more assertive in the crease. He was more engaged at the top of his crease. He was aggressive, challenging the pucks, and he wasn't allowing second chances because his glove side was up and extending it out. So he's aggressive on that glove side, which is usually a easy way to determine a goalie's confidence is if his glove side is aggressive or not, and if he's holding his glove up. And I thought Talbot was doing that throughout this game. So it made him look a little bit more confident and gave him that psychological edge in net to be able to be more aggressive and challenge the play a little bit further and be able to stop pucks a little bit quicker than usual. So he looked good. He looked confident and was very engaged all throughout the game. He was creating a lot of frustration for the Chicago players and give him credit. He was doing it regularly throughout the game. So